Boys, fellas, ladies, hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you're crushing it. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up your turbo trader for fast execution. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to get in a stock and out of a stock, one click of a button, and you're going to have your charts set up like a professional trader. So many of you asked me about this, so I'm going to deliver it for you. So with no further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump straight in. And yes, I just got back from the gym. Yes, I got my shirt off. You're just going to have to deal with it, baby. Now, with no further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive straight in. Pull up your Webull charts for me, number one, first and foremost, okay? Now, we want to make sure we have the Turbo Trader widget added. So what we're going to do here is I'm treating you like my one-on-one student right here. If you were to ever apply for one-on-one coaching and you hopped on your very first call with me, this is what I'm going to break down for you. So please, if you're ever interested in doing one-on-one training, go ahead and do this for me now. So that way in our first call, you know, if you become my one-on-one student, we can just dive straight into the data and all the good stuff, right? So if you don't have Turbo Trader as a widget already pulled up, all you got to do is right click, okay? Right click right here, go to add a widget, all widgets, and then from there, drag this over, stay with me here. Top left-hand corner in the search bar, type in top gainers and losers, boom, you can see it right there. Click on add widget, and then from there, all you have to do is drag it right over here, okay? Sweet. So now that you have Turbo Trader pulled up, now what we want to do is we want to make sure the right buttons are turned on. These buttons that you see right here allow me to get in and out of a stock with one click of a button in pre-market, and they let me go in with group orders so I can easily have my stop loss and I can have my take profit set as well. So what I want you to do is go over to the right-hand side, and you see this beautiful little gear icon on the right-hand side. Make sure you're on Turbo Trader, number one, gear icon, and I want you to click on that, all right? So now, excuse me, we're in Turbo Trader settings. So right here, you're gonna see place orders, and then you're gonna see stocks, okay? So four main things that I want you to turn on: buy market, buy ask, sell market, sell bid. I have sell trailing turned on, but honestly speaking, I don't really use it that much, so you can just skip over that. If anything else is turned on, just turn it off, guys. You really don't need it, okay? At least not if you're using my strategy anyway. Okay, so the very first one, buy market, we want to click on that, make sure it's turned blue check mark on there, and then from there, we want to go into the quantity here, and we want to change this to our normal position sizing. So typically what I do with my one-on-one students in our calls is I take a look at their entire portfolio, right? And then I break down, okay, how many trades are we looking to take per day? And then from there, I'm able to help them gauge their position sizing. So if you guys want to be super conservative, what you can do is take your portfolio and divide that by around 7 to 10 trades. So if you have $10,000 in your portfolio, your average position size might be $1,000 per trade. That's going to give you 10 trades per day, which is plenty of trades. You don't even really need that many. If you have a smaller portfolio and you want to get more aggressive, then you can bring that down to around 6 or 7 trades per day. And again, you can set this to whatever you want. If you're a newer trader, you can just start trading with $100 or even $200 positions. That's completely normal as well. So you can start to learn how to click buttons and how to make money. So right here, very important. This little icon right here is shares. This little icon is percentage, and then this icon right here is dollar, okay? So you want to make sure it's on dollar, and then right here, type in your normal position size. So if you have 10K in the portfolio, type in $1,000 as your normal position size. If you have $1,000 in your portfolio, maybe your normal position size is just $100, okay? In our one-on-one call, if you ever become my one-on-one student, this is what I would help you kind of gauge and kind of how aggressive do we want to get, because position sizing does have a very big direct correlation with how much you can grow your account. So if you get more aggressive with position sizing, you can grow your account faster, but you can also lose money faster as well. So you really need to have a system in place. Most of you don't have a system in place. Most of you trade off intuition. Most of you trade like a jackass. So do me a favor, guys. Be very conservative here and make sure, you know, if you're learning the ropes, if you're learning how to trade, just go in with a small amount at first. And again, guys, make sure you read the disclaimer down below. Day trading is very risky, etc. Okay? Now, we want to move over to buy and ask. This is very, very important, guys, because this button is going to allow you to get in during pre-market hours with one click of a button. If you screw this up, you're not going to be able to enter trades in pre-market. So pay attention to this part of the video. Order type right here should be limit. Quantity is going to be the exact same quantity that you put in buy a market, and very important that you want this to be dollar amount. It should not be shares. It should not be a quantity percentage. It should be dollar amount, okay? Type in your same dollar amount here as well. Extended hours must be turned on. This is going to by default be no. You want to turn this on. If you don't have this turned on, you're going to try and enter a position in pre-market and it's not gonna fill your order, okay? And you're gonna be pissed off. You're not gonna know what's happening. You're gonna be panicking, etc. Okay, so make sure you have that turned on. Now, number 3, I want you to go down to sell market. So we set up our buy buttons, and we want our buy buttons to be a dollar amount because we're going into every single position with a consistent dollar amount. But our sell buttons, we don't want to just sell a certain dollar amount. We want to sell 100% of our position. Because if I go into a stock with $1,000 and I'm up 50%, I now have $1,500 worth of that stock. Right now, I want to sell 100% of that position. And whenever I exit a position, I'm all out. All right, I'm not scaling out, none of that bullshit. When I get out of a position, I get out of a position. And the reason why is because I've tracked over 1,400 plus trades, okay? And it's much easier to track your trading if you just have a set TP and you know what take profit price is the best based off of what the setup is. But anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds with you. Bottom line is sell market. Quantity, make sure it's turned on to percentage here, and you want to type in 100%. That way, when you click this button, sell at market, it's going to sell 100% of your position, which is what I want and what you probably want as well. Now, we want to go down to sell at bid. Same exact thing. Order type should be limit. Quantity should be percentage right here, 100%. Extended hours, turn that bad boy on right there. Very important. Make sure you turn that on. If you do not turn this on, you are not going to be able to exit out of a position in pre-market. And you're not going to know what's happening, and you're going to lose a lot of money. Turn extended hours on. Okay? So now, boom, you have all of that turned on. Scroll down a little bit on the left-hand side for me. You're going to see place orders for options. If you guys trade options, you can keep that on there. I just have all mine turned off. I don't trade options. You guys probably watching this don't trade options. Just go ahead and turn all of these off for me, okay? And to turn it on and off, all you got to do is click this button. Boom, boom. Now it's on. Now it's off, okay? So now underneath, if you keep scrolling down, you'll see order settings. And now there's a few things I want you to have turned on. Number 1 is going to be quantity settings right here. So for me, there's sometimes when I want to go in and I want to double down on a position. So instead of going in, for example, with 10K, I would go in with 20K, right? So right here, what I do is I type in the quantity, the dollar amount of what I would want to go in with a double down position. Because there's going to be times, for example, when I'm in my live streams with my one-on-one students, where I say I want to go in with a double down position. So if your normal position is 1K, what I would recommend is if you have a setup that you feel is a top tier setup because you've tracked the data, even though most of you haven't, you want to double down on your position, then you just type in whatever your normal position size is, double down. So if 1K, 2K. If your normal position is 2K, then you type in 4K. So for example, if up here in buy market you have 10,000, then down here underneath quantity set or quantity right here, you would have 20,000, okay? You can set this to whatever you want. That's just how I have my one-on-one students, okay? Now underneath that, you're gonna have order confirmations. Make sure you have this turned on, and you want to make sure you turn this to no. Because if you don't have this turned to no, then every single time you hit the buy button on the Turbo Trader, it's going to ask you, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I don't want to hit another button. When I click the damn button, I want to get into the position immediately, right? That's how I get in one click of a button. Make sure you have that turned on to no. And then make sure you have sub orders turned on as well. Just turn these on. Boom. Now, underneath orders and positions, very first one here, cancel all current stock. I have that one turned on. Any of these other buttons, reverse, I don't really use any of those. The one I do use is flatten. I use that one during market hours, so turn on flatten, and then close, working orders position, boom, hit done. And now your chart is gonna look like my chart, or excuse me, not your chart, but your Turbo Trader widget is gonna look like my widget. Now, let's break down this even further. Okay, when do I use these buttons? Very important, guys. Take notes right here, all right? I go over this with all my one-on-one students. This is the one thing people struggle with the most. Write in your notes. During pre-market hours, Andrew enters into a position with buy ask, okay? Yeah, as you can see, when I hover my mouse over it, you can see where it says extended hours, yes. So if I want to enter a position right here, right now in pre-market, I click the buy at ask button. Boom, and it's going to enter me into a position, one click of a button. If Andrew needs to sell a position in pre-market, I hit sell bid. Boom, that's it. Now, I can make this more complicated. When I'm actually winning in a position in pre-market, I go to classic trade and I set a limit order because I'm very peculiar. I'm very picky when it comes to making sure I get my full take profit percentage, and I don't just like I don't like hitting sell at bid when I'm winning in a position. But either way, sell at bid is going to exit you out of your position. You can use it when you're down in a position, when you're losing and you want to exit. You can also use it when you're up. So if you ever need to exit out of a position in pre-market, sell bid. So let's go over that again. Buy at ask to enter a position in pre-market, sell at bid to exit out of a position in pre-market. Okay, market hours. As soon as market opens, you don't have to use buy at ask and sell at bid anymore. You can just use market orders. So if I was just going to enter into a stock by itself and I just wanted to buy it without setting a take profit and a stop loss, all I got to do is click buy at market during market hours. So make a little note, a little section, go ahead and set this up. To buy after market is open, we go buy at market. And then if I want to exit out of my position, all I got to do is click sell at market. And this is going to sell 100% of my position because, again, I set that to the default. This is going to be the default dollar amount position size that I want to go in. So this would get me in with $10,000 into a position. And this would sell 100% of my position so I can get in and I can get out. Okay, cool. Now, underneath that, the next part that we need to go over is quantity settings. So this button right here, when you turn it on, it overrides all of your default settings. So for example, if I was ever in a live with my one-on-one students and I was like, hey guys, I'm going in with a double down position, I'm going to click on quantity settings right here and I'm going to turn that on so that you can see that this changes from 10,000 right here over to 20,000 because I want to go in with a double down position, right? Okay, cool. Now, once I've entered into a position, so I can easily turn that into a double down position. Once I've hit the buy button and I'm in my position, I make sure I turn this off. Because when you turn this on, it also overrides your default settings for sell. So you can see right here, it currently says sell 0 at market because I don't own any shares of this current stock that I'm looking at. However, when I click on quantity settings right here, it says sell $20,000 at market, right? Because this overrides the default. I don't need it to override that default for sell because I don't want to sell $20,000 worth of the position. I want to sell 100%. So as soon as I enter into a trade, I turn that off. That way it's back to 100% sell. Very important, guys. When I exit out a position, I want to exit out completely, okay? And especially if you guys are down in a position, let's say you go into a position with $20,000 and you have this turned on and you're trying to exit out of the position, but you're down 10, 15%. What your broker is going to do is going to tell you, you don't have that much to sell, brother. You bought in with $20,000 worth, but now your shares are only worth $17,000. You don't have enough, like your shares aren't worth that much, right? So you want to make sure you turn this off so it can default back to 100%. Comment down below and let me know if this makes sense, guys. Okay? Now, underneath that, here's the real thing, all right? During market hours, you can now use a stop loss and take profit. During pre-market, you can't. I don't know why they make that a rule. It's a rule. It's been around a long time. Anyways, during market hours, I never just click the buy at market button without going in with a stop loss and a take profit. All you got to do is turn these bad boys on and you can see it adds a stop loss and it adds the take profit to the order. I could go in with just a stop loss if I wanted to. You see how I took the take profit off right there. And if I turn off stop loss, you can see nothing's on there, right? Turn on the stop loss, turn on the take profit because for every single setup, I know exactly where my take profit is going to be. I know exactly where my stop loss is going to be. And I don't really move those. I don't really use a trailing stop loss. I don't scale out of a position. I don't do any of that, all right? And the reason why is I've tracked the data. I know what the best take profit percentage is, okay? So that's how I have my Turbo Trader set up. Now, down here at the bottom, a couple more things is the flatten button, all right? If you ever just need to get out of a position during pre-market, like immediately get out, this flatten button is like your safety button. If you click the flatten button, it will cancel all of your current orders and it will close your position with a market order. Very, very important. That's kind of like your safety button when I tell all my one-on-one students. Okay, cool. That's how you set up your Turbo Trader, guys. Now you're set up for success. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. If you want one-on-one training, click the link down below. I'll talk to you guys soon. Deuces.